Hello, and welcome back to ESL Universe as we continue to learn colloquial language. Are you ready for another 25 idiomatic expressions? Let's learn these phrases as well as how to use them. Don't forget to use each of them in your next conversation with another English speaker and ask them if you are using it correctly. Up a storm. When someone is doing something up a storm, it means that they are doing something a lot or with a lot of energy. This phrase is often used with someone who has been very busy lately. For example, my wife has been baking up a storm, meaning that she has been in the kitchen doing a lot of baking recently. Growing like a weed. Growing like a weed is usually used in reference to children and refers to how quickly they get bigger and grow up. If someone saw your child a month ago and now they are seeing them again and it is clear that they have grown during that month, they may say something like, "Wow, just look at you, you're growing like a weed." Go on. Go on can be used to mean continue in both a positive and a negative way as an idiom. As a positive phrase, it can be used, for example, as an interjection by someone saying, "Go on," to the person speaking to mean please continue. However, it can also be used in a negative way, and in this case, it's often accompanied by the words "and on." For example, her story just kept going on and on. I couldn't get her to stop. Notice that it is possible to conjugate the word go to be used in different contexts and tenses as well. Broken, particularly when it comes to broken a record or broken 2 feet. The word broken can be used in many ways and is used in many idiomatic expressions. It can therefore be a bit confusing, both for new English language learners as well as for children. When we talk about breaking a record, we are talking about setting a new high point. For example, if your previous fastest run was 5 kilometers in 35 minutes and today you ran 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, you have just broken your own record. One way that children can break records is by growing taller. A couple of months ago, my infant daughter reached 61 centimeters or 2 feet tall. When I took that measurement, I told my 4-year-old son that she had broken 2 feet, meaning that she had reached a new height of over 2 feet tall. Unfortunately, he didn't understand the idiom and immediately started crying. I was shocked. I asked him why he was crying, and when he calmed down enough to explain, he said that no, she didn't have 2 broken feet. It was the perfect example of how miscommunications can happen with idiomatic expressions, and I hope that by learning these idiomatic expressions here, you can prevent being similarly confused. A broken record. Make sure that you don't confuse breaking a record with being a broken record. It may seem like a small change to flip the location of the article "a" here, but it completely changes the meaning. When we talk about being a broken record, we are referring to someone consistently saying the same thing or giving the same opinion over and over again. This repetition is often annoying. This idiom refers to the old kind of music player, which would sometimes get stuck playing the same section of music over and over again. This was frustrating, annoying, and generally a negative thing. Much like this, when someone is a broken record, the person listening likely feels the same way. Therefore, if someone tells you that you sound like a broken record player, they are telling you to stop saying the same thing. Like a champ. The word champ is a shortened version of the word champion. When we say like a champ, it means that someone did something like a champion, meaning very well, successfully, or in a good way. This idiom is often used with children when they did something well. For example, you can say, "He ate his supper like a champ," when the child ate their meal quickly and without complaining. It's a date. This phrase is used as a response to agree that a certain date or time works for you to have a meeting. For example, your friend may say, "How about we meet at 7:30 at the restaurant?" And you could respond, "It's a date," and they would understand that you just agreed to the date, time, and place. Open just a crack. When we say just a crack, it means that you have made it so that something is open only a very little bit, so that there is only a small space left. For example, if a door is open just a crack, it means that you may be able to see some light coming through the side of the door, but not what is actually happening on the other side of the door. Take a crack at it, or take a stab at it. If someone is said to take a crack at something, it means that they are going to make an attempt or try something. For example, if you have been asked to do something difficult, you could respond, "Well, I'll take a crack at it and see how it goes." The phrase "take a stab at it" means the exact same thing and could be used in the exact same way. To make a mountain out of a molehill. Making a mountain out of a molehill is a phrase that can be said when someone is making a really big deal out of something very small. It is another way to say that something is being exaggerated. For example, when someone is overly stressed out about a minor situation, you can say, "Don't worry, you're making a mountain out of a molehill." Walk the line, or walk a fine line. When someone is said to be walking the line, it means that there are two sides of a situation that someone is trying to stay equally balanced between. It's often used when someone is trying to stay neutral in a situation that there are two strongly opposed sides. Usually this balance is hard to maintain, and often people end up accidentally falling to one side or the other. This is why the phrase "it's a fine line" is also used in a similar way. You could say, for example, "It's a fine line between confidence and arrogance." Take a break. Taking a break is another way to say resting, stopping for a minute, or pausing what you are doing. For example, if you are in class and the teacher says, "Let's take a 15-minute break," it means that the class will stop for 15 minutes, at which time it will start again. Give yourself a break. Somewhat similarly to the previous phrase, "take a break," giving yourself a break means to be nice to yourself or to be gentle with yourself, especially when you may have been dealing with some hard times or mistakes. For example, if you are frustrated with yourself for missing a goal while playing soccer, you may be told, "Give yourself a break. No one could possibly have expected you to score from center field with no support." Beat yourself up with a wet noodle. When you beat yourself up with a wet noodle, it means that you are consistently mentally down on yourself, but in a way that is completely unproductive and therefore is pointless. Generally speaking, if you are told to stop beating yourself up with a wet noodle, it means get over it. There's no point in spending any more time or energy stressing over something that won't help you progress forward anyways. Deal with someone or deal with a situation. Dealing with someone or something generally means that you are going to give attention to the person or problem, typically in a way that will solve the issue at hand. For example, if I say that I'm going to go deal with my son, it probably means that he is either in trouble or upset about something. So I need to go pay attention to him to help solve the issue and move on with our day. Bump into someone. Bumping into someone is a rather funny expression because you typically do not actually physically bump into them. Instead, this phrase means that you have met someone that you know when you weren't planning to meet them. For example, if you see a friend at a grocery store when you didn't know that they would be there, you would say that you bumped into them. Meet and greet. A meet and greet is an event that is designed to help you meet other people, typically from a particular sector. It is often used to refer to situations or events when a politician or celebrity might be present to meet people from the public. However, it can also be a term used in the business world to provide situations where you might meet others of interest. For example, last night I made some great connections at a meet and greet that I attended for work. Open house. When someone holds an open house, it means that there is a situation or place where the public can attend, typically without making plans in advance. While open houses may happen at businesses, particularly for certain events, the most common time to hear that an open house is being held is in the real estate world, when people are trying to sell a house and you can go look at it without making an appointment. To run across something. To run across something means that you meet someone or find something by chance. For example, if you know that your mother is looking for cinnamon and hasn't been able to find it lately, but when you went to the store you found it even though you weren't looking for it, you may call her to tell her that you ran across some cinnamon and ask her if she would like you to get some for her. On the other hand. The phrase "on the other hand" is used to introduce an alternate point of view. For example, if you are presenting two sides of an argument, you can use the words "on the other hand" in between the two sides in order to show that you are transitioning from one argument to the other. An example may be that global warming is destroying the planet. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice to have warmer weather in October. Over the moon. To put it simply, over the moon means very happy. If you are talking to someone and they ask you how you are feeling on a particularly good day, you could say, "I'm over the moon. My boyfriend just proposed." Chill. The word chill can be a bit complex because it has both a literal meaning of the weather being a bit cold and the idiomatic meaning. As an idiomatic expression, to chill means to relax. If I ask my husband what he wants to do for the evening, for example, and he says just chill, he probably means that he wants to sit on the couch and watch TV or something, rather than doing something that needs to get done. Get over it. Get over it can also be taken more literally, but usually this expression is used as an idiomatic expression. When it is, it means that you should stop being upset about something and just move on. For example, if your coworker got promoted before you, even though you had worked there longer, someone may tell you to just get over it. Honestly, that can be easier said than done though. The silver lining. The silver lining is a shorter version of the phrase "every cloud has a silver lining." It means that even in bad situations, there is always something good to be found. For example, after a car accident, you could say, "Well, I guess the silver lining is that I needed to get a new car anyways." Bite the bullet. When someone is said to bite the bullet, it means that they have decided to do something hard or unpleasant that they have been pushing off because they just don't want to do it. For example, I could say that our garage has been a mess for a long time, but last week my husband decided to bite the bullet and spend the weekend organizing the space in there. There you have it. 25 more idiomatic expressions that will help you understand English more in a native environment. Hopefully, as you learn these and practice them, you will discover that you can understand more easily what is being said by English speakers around you, without getting confused as to what is really being said. I recommend choosing one of these phrases every day, memorizing it, and then trying to use it at least 5 times throughout the day. As you do this, you will find that your understanding and vocabulary will grow. I hope that you have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss another English lesson. Goodbye!